Hey, welcome to another episode of The Deep
and short of it all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I was gonna say like and subscribe. This ain't the time.
That's okay. Go ahead and
It's
like
whenever
the
you
video
make it
and
the
subscribe
time.
before you even watch it.
So you got a microphone on. What are you recording to?
My phone.
Okay, all right. Just okay, all right. Hi Dexter.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Welcome back.
Nothing much. Yeah, good to be here.
So you want to talk about? I mean, not the specifics of your vacation, but are you? You said you're going back to London. Are you going back to London now? This vacation coming up?
Oh, at the end of the month, I'm going to London. Will be in part of it. It's not specifically just London, so I'll be going through a couple different countries. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any sites in particular that you're looking forward to?
So I'm gonna spend some time in Ireland. So I'm looking forward to going to some places where Game of Thrones was filmed.
Okay.
It's gonna be on the docket. Looking forward to Amsterdam. I was supposed to go there before, but I didn't get a chance to make it there.
Yeah, Amsterdam where a lot of stuff is legal that isn't illegal.
Elsewhere, outside of that country,
Yeah.
it is legal in that country, but
Yeah,
people go,
that's what I meant.
Well, but there's a lot of stuff in Europe that's legal there that's not legal here. But yeah, Amsterdam, Amsterdam is the biggest city known for it, but the Netherlands, yeah.
Besides weed, what else is there? What else?
Well, I mean, you got the red light district where
Yeah, that's what I
prostitution
was
is
also
legal.
thinking about. Yeah.
Okay, right.
'Cause they do like the live sex shows and stuff like that.
And they literally have like streets with windows with naked women in them, enticing you to come in because it's just that big of a deal.
That's what Ludacris.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah.
The red light district.
So maybe one day we can go back there and I can show you around.
It'd be nice to see. Yes.
I would like to just walk the street with you and see your face. Like that would just be enough.
I'm very selective about things that I get into now.
Nobody said about actually
all right.
participating.
All right.
I just want to.
I just want to see your face when you go to a show with the lady pulls a banana out and stuff.
The front or the back?
Front.
Okay. I feel like that wouldn't be a nice smell, banana and poo. Chocolate covered banana.
What's that? You never had peanut butter on a banana?
This took a turn.
Nah, this is something. Let me ask you this question, Dexter.
I didn't know I was coming to get interviewed, but let's go.
No, I just thought about it because you brought up your traveling. I'm trying to figure out if I asked you this before. Like, what's the longest amount of time that you'd be willing to go to a location?
I mean, it's not a length. As long as I got the money to make it make sense, I got the time. Like, I'm good.
So
like,
would you went on the was it the 1 year cruise thing that they had?
Oh, like a cruise? No, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know about that.
I just brought this.
No. I mean, if I was with somebody, like I was not by myself, I could see, because I mean, it's, you get to see the world and just travel and see the world and dock at different places. So that'd be cool. I don't know. I'm just not a cruiser like that. I feel like after a while I'd be, all right, let me get off.
Yeah.
I'd much rather just be able to go and experience, because I enjoy seeing places too. So like when I went to Italy, it was amazing to just on the train to just get to see the landscape. So that's another thing I'm looking forward to here is, driving through the countryside and seeing all the sights and stuff and just being able to watch.
Why am I always in the middle when you're here?
I don't know.
I never really paid attention.
Me either.
I guess, because you got all this talking, I'm just sitting here and I'm, just...
I feel like you haven't always been in the middle.
I don't think so either, but sure.
I feel like I've been in the middle a couple times.
Yeah, and I recall sitting in that spot.
Okay.
And maybe I'm thinking about before we started doing like video, because I vividly remember Dexter sitting where I am before me. He's sitting right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because those are days before we had like the little pale mics and like we had like maybe the one mic, and then I just remember Dexter looking this way and talking. And we're like, hey, Dexter, talk to the mic. Oh, yeah, my bad.
Oh, but he just one mic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and always been that way. Does it make you feel a certain type of way?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's already actually probably for the best because that way, like even like if you were right here, I'm not just out the frame just picking my nose or something.
You talking about like conversation wise, you feel kind of in the middle and left out to a certain point?
No, well, I mean, I guess that is, but no, I don't feel left out. Yeah.
So I have a question. When you getting your passport so we can go?
When are you going to Alaska? Let's go feed some mooses.
What?
Some moose.
I there's some deals on Alaska right now. Let's go. You ain't said nothing but a word to me.
What kind of deals?
See?
What do you mean? See, I'm interested. I'm saying that I'm interested.
First step is to get your passport. Then we can talk about
I don't have a
destinations.
passport. I don't need a passport to go to Alaska.
I'm saying then we can talk about destinations.
Oh, okay, all right.
You don't have a passport?
But I need to know you serious.
I had a passport at one point.
What happened? You let it just...
It's been a while. I haven't needed it. I guess I don't know if you get a whole new passport, like that, a renew kind of stamp. I don't know.
Oh, no, you get a new one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down to go to Alaska.
What you gonna do there? That's why I ain't booked nothing. Cause I'm like, what? I mean, it's so big, and it's not like
it makes
you
it
just.
seem like it's a lot to do there. So.
I mean, there is, but it's huge. What? Like?
I already walked on a glacier, so I mean, I want to see a moose, even if it means that I die for it. I got to see a moose.
Okay.
And
Well, you don't have to go to Alaska for that, right? You can go to Canada.
See the Aurora Borealis. Because there's.
Oh, so you want to go to the like top side of like distant, not even where people are, kind of Alaska.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
Which is why I looked up them bears and see if we can outrun them because bears.
I'm good on all that. Where do you get on the glacier?
It was around Anchorage.
Okay.
Like, was it just like on the edge of the glacier? Like, what? Like, when you say you walked over, like, what do you mean?
No, it was we got in there. I mean, I got some pictures that were like went like a little ice cave or
I think I saw that.
So what made you want to go to Alaska over all the other places in the world?
because it's cold. And Aurora Borealis. I want to see the Aurora Borealis. That's like something that you can't really see anywhere anytime. And I know there's like different places like that in the world, but to me that's very unique.
No, I mean, you said you went to Anchorage. Like, what happened that you were in Anchorage?
Oh, I mean, that was just some information said that if I go around this time, I could possibly see it. Yeah, and it was a very small possibility, but I went anyway.
I about to say, when I think of Alaska, I don't think of Anchorage. But then again, I don't really know a lot of places in Alaska.
That's the biggest. That's the biggest city.
I don't.
Is it?
I don't really know much about Alaska.
It might be.
To honest with you.
Juneau isn't bigger?
No, I want to say Fairbanks might be the second, but I don't. I could be wrong. I'm not in Alaska. That's for.
Yeah, that's not something that comes up in a lot of conversations. So.
That's what I said. I don't. Only thing I think about when I hear Alaska is the Northern Lights, and the fact that it gets dark for like a certain amount of time throughout the year.
At the very top, like the distant, not even. Yeah.
That's what I said. Like, when I hear Alaska, that's all. I don't know where it is. That's all I think about. Like, that's the first two things I think about when I think of Alaska.
I know we had said that we were going to go to Ghana next year. Or was it this year?
I think it was this year.
Oh, so what's is that still on the agenda? I know we haven't really talked about it.
Did we say Ghana specifically or just Africa? Somewhere Africa.
I think it was Ghana because we put out the poll. Because it was like it was Ghana,
Okay.
and it was like Britain, and like a couple other
What's
places.
South America on there? I'm South Africa.
I don't remember.
Okay.
So,
I know. So there's a show called not Detective. What is that show? True Detective. I know but it's
like Night Country.
Yeah, and it's in Alaska, but it's in a fictional place in Ennis. But I figured I'd just segue to that. Have y'all been seeing True Detective?
No.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh.
It's on my list though.
Are you interested in it?
I'm gonna say no. Because I know it's like an anthology series or something. Yeah, no, I have so many other shows that I've have been following that.
Yeah.
I don't feel strongly enough to add that one to disrupt everything else.
I think you said you saw the other 3 seasons, right?
I saw the first 2. I saw the first one with Matthew McConaughey and then the second one with can't remember the main guy, but I know Vince Vaughn was in it. And then they had another one after that with Mahershala Ali. I didn't watch that one. But I saw the first 2.
Why you watch the Black Man?
Like you, it's just it got put on the list, and I just never got around to it.
No, that's not like me. I ain't watched none of them. You watched the one.
Well, I'm talking about like you with shows in general. Like it just got put on the list, and then at the time I didn't have HBO or Max as well, so it was kind of like I had no access to
That's
it.
very convenient.
We don't discriminate over here.
Yeah, that's why I was just asking. You know, it was just Black History Month. You know, so
I got you.
Hey man, at least I knew about it. Did you know he had a show?
I knew he. Yeah, I mean, I work at a TV company, so I know about these things. I just haven't, you know.
Then why you didn't watch it then?
I just haven't watched the show.
You know what I'm saying? You could have made a point. If you was like, oh man, black guy in the show.
No, it wasn't that. I have black shows that I watch, but you were saying you just skipped over that season essentially.
Because I was watching other black shows.
I don't think that argument hold water.
It holds a lot of water.
But sure, we'll let it go.
Speaking of shows, and you're at a TV company, so you said you're going to places that, you know, a place that was filming Game of Thrones. Are you going to get some fur and then have you a sword and take pictures in front of places?
I don't think I'm gonna be that lame, but you know, I will. I'll be willing to, like, if they got props and stuff there, but I'm not going to take that kind of stuff because that's a lot to be trying to pack and wheeled around. Like, no, I'm trying to be on the move.
I was gonna say, imagine yourself in like a jacket that had some fur on, and then you just say, you know, I'm just saying, because there was a show, I want to say, Black and Blue, not show, movie Black and Blue. I think it had the dude from Luke Cage.
Police cop movie.
Yeah, so I know so the other one was with Chadwick Boseman, so it is Black and Blue. But the Luke Cage guy, he had on like a jacket that had fur on there, and I'm just. Anyway, I won't keep
Maybe I'll get a wig with white dreads and do like the People's House of Dragons. Yeah.
Let's not go that route.
What? You don't like that show?
It's
coming back this summer.
Yeah.
I think the reason I didn't really care for the show is because like every episode it's like it was very fast paced. You didn't really.
They had a lot of ground to cover their first season.
The only thing I didn't like about the show was the time jump.
Yep.
But then I just found out recently, I was watching something else where originally when they were making the show, the first few episodes before the time jump, they added those later on. They weren't even going to be in the show, but they added them on later on because they felt like they needed it to explain.
Well, I'm glad. And because I didn't really care for the time jump actor, like the actress when she got there. She's just so homely.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really.
Well, that I had gotten attached to the young girl, especially because she played so well. And it's kind of like you just aged her out. I was like,
and I was just like, I don't think she would have became that. But okay.
Yes.
So are you saying that all people that act must look pretty?
No, I'm just saying I had gotten used to the young girl.
I don't think she was.
Younger girl. I ain't saying she was like gorgeous or anything. I'm just saying, yes. And she was more aesthetically
appealing.
Yeah, than.
I mean, I'm not saying obviously,
on the scale, she was further up the scale than what she became.
All right. Okay.
Would you not agree with that?
She had unique features that if you can definitely, like, if you put she had a memorable face,
which makes it even more like off-putting the fact that like she wouldn't have turned into that.
Yeah.
It's like how you have these such unique features and then you turn into just a a blasé whatever.
And then she's Supergirl.
Yeah. She got cast as Supergirl.
I don't know about that.
And that same month, other good shows are coming back. The Boys is coming back that month, and something else.
They said they renewed it for season 5. I'm like, listen, I'm not saying I'm not enjoying The Boys.
But how far can it go?
I mean, how long are we gonna do this?
Maybe there'll be a crossover from
Well, that's the word. That's the word that Gen V is going. Like some of the
Yeah.
characters, Gen V is going to build in this season. As
I would
well
like
as
to
some
see
of the
that.
story
That's what
is going kind of.
You don't want to see that happen?
No, because then we're just making it. I'm not saying making it bigger and bigger, but like if we didn't do Gen Z, let's say we can maybe do 5, 6 seasons. Now we're doing Gen V. Now we have to expand. We're not keeping on track of what we were originally doing. So it's like we're prolonging, which I mean, if it's more of a good thing, is not necessarily a bad thing. But I don't know. I feel like you are messing. You're pushing it.
I mean, but you gotta also look at it from a story aspect too. Like, how can you have this huge thing that takes place in Gen V and the boys not even talk about it? Because I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's not like the whole season is going to be based off Gen V's story, but it's just going to be, and like they're going to talk. It's almost kind of like the whole Marvel thing. Like, you got all these superheroes in the same city. They got to at least cross paths, but they're not going to work together forever. But you got to at least have a story with them together, at least at some point.
Now, while I did enjoy Gen V, if we didn't have Gen V, I mean, we'd still be on track to end the story.
Who says it's not going to end though?
But now it's going to like season 16 now. Because I mean, I'm sure I don't want to say that I read somewhere, but now they did Gen V. Let's do another spinoff, and then how many we're getting into the MCU, all these other characters, and now we just got. When is it ever going to end? I guess that's what I'm just. Let's be direct. Let's be intentional. Let's finish what we started. And I don't want this to turn into a fatigue. And then it's just like it just start petering out.
Nice use of the word, Peter.
Wait, you said something about support, Peter?
I said nice use of the word, Peter.
So let me ask you this question: are you a fan of shows like for instance, like a Seinfeld? To where like they end, but well before the fans got tired of it, or do you prefer like shows to keep going until the fans just start checking out, like a Supernatural, where they got like 15 seasons?
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I enjoy Seinfeld episodes. It wasn't one of those shows where it's like I was here from the beginning. I've just been watching, So it's like if it came on, I enjoyed watching it, but like. I think me, like I don't want to watch a show that has no mind to end. Like we just along for the ride and it has no direction.
No, the point I'm asking is like, would you prefer whatever show it may be, with let's say The Boys, would you prefer the show to quit before it gets to that point to where you start checking out, or would you prefer it just to keep going past the point where even if the fans have checked out, but they can squeeze another 2-3 seasons out? Like, would you want to just like, all right, this is our last season, and leave you wanting more? Or was you like, oh, I just wanted one more, and they give you one more, and it's like, well, I didn't really like that last one.
I prefer it, I guess, maybe, and I don't want to say prematurely, as long as it makes sense.
Okay.
I think Big Bang Theory stayed well past its welcome. There's and I don't want to be at that point where I'm just watching it to watch it, like The Flash. I checked out after, and that's Flash. I mean, even though every season was contained and had a beginning and an end, but it's like
Walking Dead.
Yep, exactly. So I'd rather it have an ending.
I just feel like I don't want it to end prematurely if it's going strong and there are things that people are looking for they haven't addressed or wrapped up yet.
I can agree with
If you get to a point to where like y'all struggling to come up with stuff, y'all recycling storylines, you just making up stuff that don't make sense, go ahead and end it. But there are other shows that they just do it because we want to go out on a high and we don't want to like if you still got good stuff, don't do that. Like ride it out until you get to a point and just be honest. You're like, we didn't see anywhere we can go and still maintain the quality of what we were doing. That's fine.
Yeah, because at that point it's like you're forcing things, and then you get to the point where not saying, I mean, I can't think of many shows that did it, but critics will be like, oh yeah, well, season 7 and 8, towards the end, they just didn't have the same, they weren't the same.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but that's exactly what the thing. It's not because they just gave themselves their timeline and then it trashed the show. It tanked the show. They didn't have to do that.
No, this is true.
Season 8 could have had more episodes.
Absolutely. The last few seasons could have had more episodes. They could have took the time that they did for the last part, but they just, I don't know what. And they could have gave George R. Martin more time to come up with more books by spending time.
Yeah, but then, you know, I there's no telling when he was going to come out with his books. I got into Game of Thrones later, so I never know when the book started. So I just don't know how much time he's had since the last book he's written.
You know they got another spinoff coming too, right?
Yeah, for Jon Snow.
It's like
there's one for him though.
Well, they I think they have one that they shot from what I heard of him, or at least some other spinoff. But they have a few that they've already like planned, worked on, filmed. But then there's another one coming out where it's like these two guys. It takes place 100 years before, where like they're like two characters I don't think I can even remember from the show.
Are you sure they didn't cut that? Because I know they cut a few.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, there are some like from the legends of and lore of Game of Thrones. They're gonna go back and do those.
This is all rumor, of course, but this is something I heard yesterday. I was watching a video and they were talking about it. I was like, I didn't even know that.
Speaking of legends, they're making another Pokemon Legends game.
And you pointed at me.
Because you said the word legends.
Okay. I just want to be clear. Pokemon is not my... It's not my lane at all.
You gonna play Power World?
I downloaded it.
You are the resident Pokemon person, so...
That's not my lane. I don't know anything about that.
Did you say you're not lame?
I said it's not my lane.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask y'all this question: If y'all had to come up with this may be kind of short notice, but like if you had to come up with like a Mount Rushmore of shows, like what would y'all say y'all Mount Rushmore is?
Just all together. Okay.
I don't know.
Game of Thrones is gonna be up there. Sure, I know seven.
Is this for you, or is this what you think people would put up there?
Oh, if I'm picking people, they're gonna say The Wire, Breaking Bad. Those two, and of course, black people they have something different. So you can say like a black Mount Rushmore. But just from what I've heard, Breaking Bad, The Wire are like definite two. And I can't think of any other two.
I never watched The Wire.
I wish I didn't. Well, Breaking Bad was just difficult to get through.
I've never watched that one.
Great show to me.
I put Black Mirror.
Yeah. All the seasons?
Yeah, because I mean, even though a whole season might not be strong, there are definitely really strong episodes from all the seasons.
I'll give you that.
So yes,
I'll give you that.
Maybe even Shameless.
Yeah. Shameless is up there. Have you watched Shameless?
I know you just said it. We're gonna watch it. You know what? Let's go ahead and do it. We're gonna watch it. If you were to say this show is like something, what would it be like?
There's nothing like Shameless.
You had to compare Shameless to something? Have you seen The Bear?
I watched a couple episodes. I haven't stuck with it though.
I'm probably the last person to say compare it to something because I don't watch many shows.
Yeah, this is true.
That's all I'm about to say. Arrested Development, but it not even like it's you'd have to warp and do some stuff with that still to get to.
I can watch Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Anytime I think Shameless, I think of a woman with some bug eyes.
I don't even know what
I don't know where to go with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless are you talking about the character from the main character from the picture or something?
Yeah, she's got some eyes.
Who?
I know everybody has eyes. But
Fiona?
Yeah.
Bug eyes?
I feel like we've had this conversation.
Interesting.
That's not the person I can think he's talking about. I don't agree, but because
Yeah, I don't see it.
Would you say that her eyes are not normal?
Honestly, I don't really remember
I don't-
her eyes
not-
that well, but
I don't-
they don't stand out to me
No,
as being
not at
awkward.
all.
Okay.
So, you have an eye thing, James?
I have an eye for eyes, yeah.
An eye for eyes. Interesting.
I feel like if I
This Is Us.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
This Is Us. Yeah.
I just hear a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah.
I know Veronica said she'd be willing to, because she watched it. I said she said she'd watch it with me, but
Yeah.
I
It's a
haven't.
really good show.
The only episode I watched was the one that came on after like a Super Bowl, which was like it was supposed to be some big show because you finally found out how the dad died or something like that. That's the only episode I ever watched.
You know what? I have a feeling that I'm gonna watch Shameless, start the first episode, and there's like, there's nothing special about this.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be a first episode show. It's not going to be one of those.
So give me just, I need you to go back, watch all the episodes, and be like, this is the episode that I need you to watch.
It's not really. The thing about Shameless is not necessarily like a certain episode. It's like once you kind of get a feel for the family itself and
Yes.
the characters, that's when you start. At least for me, I can't speak for Dexter or anybody else, but for me, that's how it was.
Yeah.
Jump in. Season
I became
3,
invested in
episode 4.
certain characters and their storylines.
Right.
Because, I mean, even what they made the main character, the dad, I hated him. Like, I had
He is a horrible
physically reactions to him. Like, he's a terrible person. Like, a deeply terrible person. But it's a good show.
What is that movie with Sean Levy? Is it Sean Levy? Not movie, show with Sean Levy? Eugene Levy? I think it's Eugene.
The movie, you said?
A show.
It's a show, yes.
Is it Modern Family?
With his son.
Yeah, so
That was a good
Schitt's
show.
Creek?
Yes.
That
Great
was-
show.
Okay.
Yes.
That would be on my Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely. Now, see, once again, that's a show that ended too early.
Yeah, would you want at least one more season?
Yeah, yes, because it was, first of all, they ended it when people were just kind of catching on to the show.
Right.
And I probably wouldn't have wanted the wedding to happen in the season that it did. It could have waited
I
another
ain't
season.
gonna lie to you. I cried at that wedding. I cried at the wedding. I watched the
funny.
behind the scenes for the final season. I cried at that.
I watched the, the little film they did of the whole thing. Yeah, that was okay.
I mean, I ain't boohoo cried, but like tears came out. I was like, oh, because it was I was like this. I was invested, man.
Yeah,
Their relationship.
it was a good show. It's a very good
It was
show.
oh man, I was like, I was in.
Yeah.
I feel like you would like. I mean, going back, I feel like you would like Shameless too because it's in Chicago. It's in the south side of Chicago. So
Southside.
yeah, well, they say they reference it a lot. Like, well, we Southies or what do they call them? I don't know. But they say they talk about being from the south side a lot.
I know. I mean, I don't want to say South Side, West Side don't get along, but it's always one of those points of contention. Which side is like the better or worse side, whatever you want to say. So I can understand somebody bragging or saying that they're from the South.
But it's not necessarily that they're bragging. It's more so like they're proud of like,
Their hood.
yeah.
And they're not black, right?
Right.
Well, there's one black character.
All right.
Two, actually. But as a whole, they're white.
Yes.
Okay.
There ain't one black character. She she get it. She get it.
So let's go ahead and talk about Avatar.
Right. And then as soon as you said I want to talk about this, my Explore page on IG started bringing up all these videos of the kids doing interviews and things.
Now, I was looking up. Would we say that Aang is probably the youngest of all of them? Like,
I mean,
real
he
life?
had to be because now he like looks and sounds completely different.
I was gonna say because I just looked it up on the way here, and he was born in 2009. So I don't know when they filmed it, but I didn't think about it till just now. I was thinking, would that be considered to be child acting? Because they feel like children in the show.
Yeah.
Specifically him, like he was well before puberty. And sometimes I was like, is that a female? Because I remember somebody saying that they was looking at casting a female as Aang. And at some points I was just like, did they? Like,
You want to do your general thoughts, general overall overview of the show first?
Go for it, Dexter. We can just come this way, since you're already talking.
is that how this works? Okay.
Go for it.
So, no, once I got into it, I found myself actually looking forward to watching the season, the rest of the season. Like, it wasn't one of those shows where I'd be like, I'll get back to it when I get back to it. I was invested. But the acting, it was hard to get through sometimes. Specifically, Aang. He was just so annoying and so over the top. Like, with some points, you could just see it on his face, like him changing his mind. Okay, I gotta be excited. Like it was just over animated, like real. It wasn't smooth at all. Several of the child actors had their moments, but for him, it was just consistently throughout the entire season for me with him. But I think Zuko was cast really well. I enjoyed him and Iroh. Yeah. Their relationship.
I love their relationship.
Yeah, that was really good. Sokka had to grow on me. I know everybody was like, he's cast perfectly. He has this weird look, which he does, and maybe that's what had to grow on me.
I think a lot of people talk about the fact that he looked like the character. When they say that's what I got. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with some of the actors, not so much with others, like the sister, Zuko's sister, I can't think of her name. Azula. Yeah. With the princess, Yep.
I didn't really care for her.
Yeah, no. So there were some things that I think they did well, but I would watch the second season. I would. Yeah.
They said they already renewed it for second and third season.
Yeah, I saw somebody say that they filmed several seasons at once because they knew that Aang was going to age.
Which makes sense.
I don't know if that's true. I just saw people saying that. So that would be good if that's what they did. And I appreciate the special effects. Like they had some really good. Some of the things were really good. So.
What are your overall thoughts, Dave?
Overall.
Sorry about the overall. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you cool. I mean, like I said, we can get into spoilers afterwards. I just want you.
Overall, I believe I enjoyed it. I know that's like me trying to convince myself, but it's like a lot of times I was watching, I was like, I don't like this. It's not good. Blah 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 blah. And then sometimes I got like I felt myself being really into it. It was very interesting. So it's like I'm on the fence. I liked some stuff. I didn't like some stuff, and it was very equal. So if I was to give it, I know that's not what you're asking, but anyway, I'll wait for that. The acting, yes, the acting and dialogue. I remember, I even put a post on Instagram that it hasn't been even 8 minutes, and one of the things is, Aang asked, well, how many of them are coming? And I was like, please don't say all of them. Please don't say all of them. He was like, all of them. I was like, okay, we're doing this is how we're gonna. And it was like that like the whole season. It's like not necessarily predictable dialogue, but it's like no effort was put into the dialogue. It's just blandly written, and I kept trying to tell myself that maybe this is I have a problem with it because it's for kids. It's very kid friendly, and sure, he can be kid friendly and have good dialogue, but it's like it's very much pandering to kids. And even in that first, nope, I'm not gonna. That's a spoiler. So the people I did like Zuko. Zuko was definitely, of the children, if you want to call him that. He was the one I was like, okay, I have no issues with him. I actually did like Sokka. I can't say that he was perfect like Zuko, but I can't remember any times that I didn't like him. Katara was
Yeah.
Just average. But Aang was definitely the one that I had the problems with. The bending, to me, and I've always felt like the firebenders, not necessarily are the weakest, but the fact that you have these people who are supposedly taking over the world, and every time you see them, they're getting their butts whooped. So in my head, firebending has always been the worst, even though they have the lightning. But in this show, to me, the firebending was like the best. It looked the best. Earthbending wasn't that prevalent. Oh, since we're on the subject, I know I'm just going. I'm going. Did not like Boomy at all. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Boomy.
Terrible.
So earthbending was.
And why did they? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't. It was okay. The water, you know, I did not. Like if I just looked at the water, I was like, this actually looks good. But like if I took myself out and looked at the overall thing, and I guess it's because you know you know water doesn't float, so maybe my mind is like this. It's weird.
No, it looked weak.
And then you know airbending was fine. It was what it is. So overall, it was I enjoyed it, but it was
Would you do a second season?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the rest. I mean, it was way better than the movie. Obviously, it does not compare to the show. Some of the storylines, I'm glad that they got rid of some of the storylines, and then I think maybe there was one storyline I was like, I don't. But for the most part, everything that they did seemed to go together.
I mean, y'all pretty much said a lot of stuff that I would say. The only things that I would differ on would be I actually liked Aang. However, I
Tomato.
But I think the reason why I liked it was because, and I hate to compare it to like the M. Night Shyamalan movie, but like he felt more like the character from the show than the guy in the movie from the movie. So like I'm not saying he had the greatest performance, but like I liked him because he felt more like Aang from the show than that guy.
That's a low bar.
I'm just telling you, like I said, that's why I said maybe I shouldn't compare, but like that made it more likable to me. Overall, I like the show. I kind of wish it had been at least a couple episodes longer to kind of flesh out the relationship between the Team Avatar.
Yeah.
Because Katara,
Yikes.
she kind of felt like, hey, let me come explain what's happening. Hey, let me lift you up.
There's
because you're feeling down.
A lot of exposition.
And it was like, especially in the first episode alone, exposition heavy. Sokka was cool. I didn't hate him. I didn't love him, but he was cool. So his like comedic, tone or whatever, it was like it was hit or miss.
Yeah.
But he felt like Sokka to me. I feel like I really liked Zuko and Iroh the most. Like that was like the highlights of the show for me. But as a whole, the main characters I was really into. Like I said, now when it comes to like acting, there was some other characters outside of the main cast that I was like, ooh, it was a little bit hard to deal with. But visuals, there was some moments that I was like, but at that point I was invested in the story too. It didn't really kind of take me out of it. But I did notice it. As far as the bending wise goes, I liked it. I mean, it made sense. I mean, it looked decent enough. The fire is probably the best looking. Water was kind of, but at the same time, I didn't expect it to be too real or too lifelike because it is based on a show that's based on people bending water. So I'm just kind of like, all right, I kind of gave it a little pass for that. Airbending was kind of like, it's there.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I'm thinking about it from a fighting standpoint too, but either way it go. Overall, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I would watch a second and a third season depending upon how it goes and storylines and stuff like that. The biggest thing, I guess, that allowed me to like it, and I think I told you this. I don't know if I told somebody else, but it's been a minute since I watched the animated show. So I couldn't remember like when something happened, or this was earlier than so I couldn't remember that stuff. So I was like, like you said, the storylines, the way they did it, it made sense. So they brought it together. So I'm like, all right, cool. But it wasn't like I had a direct reference. Well, that doesn't happen to season 2, or I couldn't remember. It's been a minute, so I don't know.
There's 2 more things. So I do want to say, I did read a review not read a review, but watch a video, and somebody was saying, that the wardrobe, the costumes looked like they was very bad cosplay, and I'm like, to me, when I was looking at the armor of the firebenders, the Fire Nation, it looked good. Anime. Yeah, it looked good. I mean, I can understand the airbenders, their monks is supposed to not necessarily be intricate. But for the most part, I thought the wardrobes are fine. Good.
No, I'm good.
I was gonna say the one storyline. Now that I think about it, when nope, they're getting spoiler territory.
I'm about to say we can go to spoilers.
Let's go, cause I'm tired. Yeah, I'm ready to talk
I
about
say I
this.
just want to get the overall thought
had
first before we go to spoilers.
Yeah.
we can do spoilers now.
Yep. All right. So since I'm talking about this, that one, and I think we can probably all agree. Well, I won't say that, but I feel like the episode 6, and I know y'all probably don't know which ones are
I
particular.
thought something you could give me
No,
some
yeah.
moments.
That one was probably the best, and then I enjoyed the last one. But so episode 6, the one with the face stealer, I enjoyed that one the most. But the issue that I had,
why?
because it did not seem it was the one episode that seemed like it was not the most serious. It seemed like it. I remember reading that somebody said they wanted this to feel like Game of Thrones, and while it's two completely different properties, or I felt like episode 6 was the most adult like. It seemed like the one that if you want to show somebody an adult, like, hey, you should watch this show. That's the episode you should let them watch.
The one where he just dipped out on his friends while they were the spirit world.
That's the one that's the issue that I had. Because hey,
I'm back, y'all.
he when he get hungry, he can go devour these people's souls. So let me go over here and talk to this person over here in the Fire Nation, and then I got to go over here and do this.
Way in the Fire Nation, like.
So that part I didn't really care for, but no, that one episode, the last episode was the best to me.
You said the last episode was the best to you?
One of the best, yeah.
I didn't really like the last episode.
Okay.
Well, I ain't say mainly, but partly because of the fact of the chick, Princess Yue. Like, granted, I know you're condensing a lot into a little, but like when she died, I felt more of an impact on the actual show, as opposed to when she died in the live action. I was kind of like, all right, this is what you're supposed to do. This is supposed to happen. Like, all right, like she didn't really. I didn't feel attached to her like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. There are little things in everything that kind of was like, I wish I did that differently. But on the whole, I give it grace. But as y'all were talking, that would just jog my memory about things I didn't really care for. Like I didn't really care for Suki.
She was right, like the bounty hunter.
No, the first girl that Sokka.
The Kyoshi Warriors.
Yeah, that whole thing. It didn't go well for me.
Like what was it about it that you didn't?
I didn't like her act. I didn't like her casting. I didn't really feel like I didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't connect with her like I connected with Zuki in the animated show.
I got you.
But I did enjoy just like the fight scene when he went into the Avatar state and Avatar Kyoshi? Avatar Kyoshi took over. Yeah, like that was a cool scene. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed Suki, but when they started, making her like Sokka, I was like, all right, this feels
it was
forced.
just yeah.
I feel like a lot of okay. I'm just gonna say how I feel. I personally don't feel like Sokka had that much game.
That's what I'm.
Cause they liked him.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's a place full of women, and they don't get to see many men.
Yeah, but like in the show, I feel like it happens over a certain amount of time. In the live action, he showed up like, "Oh, who is that, Sokka? I like him." What's so great?
Literally, and the princess is like this dude over here. Yeah. He's great and everything. I just don't. He's not what I'm looking for. He's not the man of my dreams.
I was about to say,
what?
Okay.
So I mean, let's go ahead and give it grace. So she saw Sokka in a dream and saw how he.
For 2 minutes, she saw him like.
That's what you saw. You don't know if she was watching him the whole time.
They didn't give any indication about that. To your point.
You have to assume, I'm not going to say it's implied, but you have to assume that she watched him for a little bit longer because, if she is the man of the
But watch him how much long? He wasn't in the spirit world that long before he got.
Let me ask you this question.
You can just, sure, the show may not have seemed like they were there for long, but, they were walking, they were doing all this stuff, so, it's longer than the show made it seem.
So she broke off a relationship with a guy she's known for years over somebody she met in a dream for a short amount
That
of
she
time.
watched in the dreams.
Or she said watched.
I got the impression that they broke up before the dream, but I may be wrong about that.
Yeah, but she's still known him. She's interacted with him. She spent time with him.
And literally, she acknowledges he's great.
That I'm not saying. So the only thing that I'm saying is that she saw him for more than like a couple minutes in the dream. That's all. I'm not saying that.
I get that part. That's why I'm asking you. So you need to tell me she saw Sokka for a few moments in this dream, talked to him maybe a little bit, and then she saw him as like, let me break off with this guy who I've been knowing since I probably was born.
No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
And then you sit them next side by side, and I mean, I guess maybe it's for the nerds of us that that just don't really get that kind of consideration in real life.
And I'm like, hey,
but come on, let's be real. Okay?
Even since we talk about him, go back to what I was talking about, my old girl who died in the last episode. When they showed his dead body, I was just got like, all right. Great, because they gave him a slow motion scene and everything. I was like, oh, okay. Then they came back and showed his dead body. I was like, oh, he died, I guess. Like, I didn't care. I was like, all right.
Yeah. There was a lot of that.
But then, like I was saying earlier, the exposition, because they started out before the first episode, did the whole, the Fire Nation, used to rule in harmony until the Fire Nation attacked, blah, 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 blah. And then it got to the grandmother. Yeah, the Fire Nation. Yep. We lived in harmony until she
did the whole intro.
They just did this.
But no, that was literally
like I can still hear the intro in my head. Like it just happened. Like this is not a recall. Like
I also like how everybody just automatically knows he's the Avatar. Like, well, all the old people are like, oh, yeah, you're not just a boy. You're the Avatar. It's like, what? Yeah, I guess so. How did you know?
I mean, it's okay. So this is just me. But putting two and two together, obviously everybody knows that the Avatar is reborn. So that they know that there is no Avatar nowadays. Yeah. So the Avatar last we knew was the Airbender. This is the last Airbender. It only makes sense that that's the Avatar.
But it's really weird though, because on the one hand, like, why was the Fire Nation oppressing the water? Because in my mind, they were oppressing the waterbenders because they were next in line. So they're assuming that the Avatar is coming through there. But then they're still looking for an Airbender. But then why were they only oppressing the southern Airbenders, but not the northern
because the north was impenetrable. As you can see, they tried to get to the north a few times. They couldn't do it.
I will say this, from what I remember from the show, which they didn't emphasize in the live action, is like when you're being that they knew the next Avatar was air, I think you have to learn the bending in like a certain order. So the next order to learn would be water, and so that's why they were kind of keen on like stopping them from. But again, that's from the actual show. They don't talk about that in the live action.
Another thing that didn't happen in live action was Katara and Aang learned their water bending. I mean,
he never water bended. Never.
They never kissed either, because that happened in the show. Because in the tunnel episode, it was Aang and Katara.
Oh my goodness!
But in the show, I mean, I liked it. Don't get me wrong.
The lovers.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I liked it. Like I liked the way they did it. But I just remember in the show it was Aang and Katara, because I feel like it was a scene where they almost kissed in the tunnels. And that's how the whole love thing.
And it wasn't two women in the.
No, there's still two women.
In the cartoon, there's two women?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh.
I could be wrong, but I believe it was two women.
I didn't realize that, because I rewind. I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay, that's cool.
So I don't remember the show. I mean, it's been a while. So when they got down there, like, all right, we're gonna go through these 100 tunnels. There's some people just singing and dancing. I'm like, this is so random.
They were in the show too.
So that's the part that I don't want to say. Either it could have been different, or you could have did without it. Like, it just didn't seem to fit the rest of the show.
It didn't feel.
Yeah, because it works. Like them singing in the tunnels works in the animated show, because the animated show is
very whimsical.
Yeah,
it can be.
But this was like a lot more grounded and dark. So it's just out of nowhere, you're like, hey, in the tunnels.
Yeah, like even Jet, like.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad you went there, because I told you there was characters that I didn't like acting wise. Jet, he was okay. but like he just was there for the most part. And then his crew, the big guy, and it's like I could tell they had to hit their marks. It was like, hey, that's the Duke. I'm the Duke. Hey, who are we? We're the Freedom Riders or whatever. Like I didn't care for any of his little crew acting wise. And then the other guy, okay, here's the main character, child wise, that I hated acting wise was Teo.
The wheelchair guy.
Yes.
I listened.
I could have did without him in the whole season.
I was on my phone at the time. I was just.
He just when I tell you, I was like.
Yeah, I think I gave. Yeah, probably that whole storyline I could have did without. I think I just gave more grace than I probably normally would have because this is another show back to what we were talking about because the actor is from oh my gosh. Community.
Oh, yeah.
He's
when I first saw him, I was like, "Is that?"
Yeah.
But he didn't really do much with the.
I know, but I was just like, "That's my guy."
But you know what he can do.
Yeah, that's my guy.
So I know, I mean, there's some people that could have this mindset. Things like this happen, and I mean, I know that there's terrorist freedom fighters all over the place, but the whole reasoning for them being freedom fighters, at least Jet, it was stupid to me. So he's like, the Fire Nation, they did this and they took my parents away. So now I'm just going to go blow up stuff and take other people's parents away. Okay.
I just want to say for the record, like, my issues that I have with the show, like, why? Because I know I'm saying this a lot, but like, when I watched the live action, I didn't compare it to the show because I didn't want to kind of go and think, because I didn't want it to be like a 1-for-1, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the issues I'm having is kind of like, for the show, it's more so kind of like character-wise. Like, for instance, like Azula, I didn't really believe that she was crazy.
Yeah.
I was like,
she was just a murderess.
Yeah, because and then I guess
the lightning thing. What the? It just came out of nowhere.
Well, not only that, but like even with the crazy thing, I feel like they wanted to believe that she was crazy because they kept zooming in on her for like 10 seconds and like, hey, hold the shot. Now try to smile, but don't smile.
So, I think they were just trying to give the Fire Lord a little bit more of depth because, I mean...
I like the Fire Lord.
Because, I mean, technically, for the most part, I don't want to say he wasn't present, but...
He wasn't.
I mean, like, not in this show, but like in the first season of the cartoon. Like,
he wasn't.
Right. So, I know Azula didn't show up until the second season, so it's almost like they're kind of forcing all that stuff as well.
And her friends didn't show up till like the third season.
I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Well, I say that because I remember the episode because Zuko was dating one of her friends, and she was dating somebody else, and they went on like this little double date on the beach or whatever type of thing, and I just remember that from like the third season.
Yep. But yeah, so I mean, one thing about the cartoon is like I don't want to say every character, but I feel like a lot of characters have a chance or a good chance that they're probably somebody's favorite character. And, like I General Iroh could be somebody's favorite character. Or,
I heard a lot of people online didn't like him.
Well, I meant the cartoon, not this show.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't really get that from this show, and obviously it's probably because you have less episodes, you have less time to be with each of these characters. But that's one thing that this show is missing. I'm going to call it a heart. Is that what you would call it?
I can't agree with that.
Yeah, it had to be the writing, the editing. It's just everything. Because I mean, calling back to what you're talking about, Boomy, like there was nothing likable about Boomy. Like,
not at all.
What?
The issue I had with Boomy, I didn't completely hate the Boomy character in the show, but the issue I had with him was the issue I had with a lot of the Avatar, like past Avatars, and a lot of issues with them in general. Because like every time somebody met Aang, like I get he wasn't around for 100 years. It wasn't his decision. But like every time he came across somebody, like, where you been?
You ran.
You dipped.
Yep.
You left. Bruh, like, okay, I get it.
He told Sokka, like in the first episode, this is what happened. And then, well, no, I take them back. I know, like you see him frozen in ice.
Yeah.
And then later in an episode, you ran away.
Yeah.
You didn't just see me frozen in ice.
Yeah.
Also, when he showed up in the ice, they didn't act like nothing happened. It was just like, well, at least soccer. He was like, all right, let's go. Like you don't want to ask about this beam of light that just shot. Like, that's cool. We need to dip.
And then I also had questions like, okay, I'm just gonna let it be, but he fell into the ocean and like went down and then did this. But they found him in a cave that they didn't have to like go down into the earth or anything, like nothing like that. It just was in a cave that anybody could have just ended up in.
You talking about the Avatar?
Yes.
They were in a cave.
You know, they went in the cave, but
It was. It wasn't like a cave, but it was like a gorge or something, and all encased in this ice. Because remember, they went through something to get in there.
he was just in like a glacier. It was like a big, huge glacier thing.
Right, with cliffs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they went through walls and stuff.
But they was in like a little boat coming across, in like a little.
Right, but it wasn't like just wide open.
Oh yeah.
So let's say that the Avatar created all that ice. When he did that, he just created it all. I don't know if that's, but I'm just saying like
Close to the South Pole.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So no, I mean we all know that ice and glaciers travel. So obviously, he was at the border, not the border, the air temple, and as you're probably implying, he probably couldn't have got all the way down to the South Pole. So I'm just assuming that he traveled a little south, made an iceberg, and then it traveled more south.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't agree with any of that. I mean, you waited until the storm got real. I'm talking about that what you said, but like in the show, you waited until the storm got real bad. Like, yeah, I think we should turn around, Appa.
Oh, okay.
Like you didn't want to turn around before it started raining real hard. Like,
He was too mad. He was too overwhelmed.
and then also he was like, yeah, man, I'm a dip. I'm gonna go where I do my best thinking. 5 seconds later, here comes the Fire Nation. Yeah, all right, let's go. Like he missed it by that much.
And then I'm like, I don't see how they ever, even if they were surprised, literally all the airbenders are there, which all the airbenders were there and got attacked. Fire needs air. How can they overpower y'all?
They had to comment.
So yeah, thank you.
But I mean, even still, that just makes your fire more powerful. You can't create fire without air, without oxygen. They literally control air.
Okay, for the record, Dexter, I agree with you, but you also play a logic to it. People pick the elements. Like,
Yeah, okay.
I mean, because if you think about it, Aang being an airbender, he could take air out of people's lungs all the time.
Yeah.
He's not gonna do that.
He's not going to do that. But I mean, just removing air.
So, all right, I'm the way I've always thought about it, and it may not have been represented well on the show, but I was watching the first episode again with somebody else, and they said, this shouldn't happen either. The Fire Nation coming to the air temple, how are they being overpowered? So one, it was discussed that the air nomads, they use their bending mainly for defense. They don't really attacking. Sure, they're fighting for their lives, so they would be offense.
I think Aang said that later on in the season.
He did, but I mean that does still apply to.
Even though immediately he comes out of the ice, he knows how to fight. He's fighting people.
So I want to get to that because that's one thing that but it was still the element of surprise. So they did come in the night, maybe not the middle of the night. And everybody was separated. So what I was explaining to the other person was, if somebody's coming, you would stand a better chance, at defending yourself than just being surprised. So that's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, so Aang, I feel like he was more capable in the cartoon than he was in this show. Whenever he fought in the cartoon, I never felt like he could not get himself out of any situation. And this show, whenever he was fighting, I mean, I don't know, it just wasn't the same. And then like he could fly without the use of his glider and the air ball. So that was that's me nitpicking.
Yeah, I missed the air ball.
They showed it and it looked bad.
I missed the air ball.
I like it.
So I just think Aang was.
I don't completely agree with the notion that when he went. I don't feel like when he fought in the show that he. Because I get what you're saying as far as like, you feel like in the actual show he can just get out of anything because of him being a great airbender. Like in the show, I don't. And maybe because it's been a minute since I watched the show, but like I can't think of a moment where when he was fighting, like I felt like, oh, he's not gonna get out of this.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. he was always capable enough that he can take out all the firebenders. Like if he was on a firebender ship and he was breaking out, blah blah, I'm good.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like I didn't have a moment where I felt like he couldn't get out of it. Like when I watched the show, I always knew. Oh, like I didn't question his abilities. I didn't question his, like.
You keep saying the show. Can you differentiate?
The live action.
Okay, so
yeah, I didn't feel like a moment where like, oh, I don't think he's gonna make it out of that. Like I didn't feel that.
I don't know if I'm just maybe there's less firebenders, but it just seemed like when he was fighting people, he wasn't easily beating them. Just in the cartoon, gust of wind, everybody flies all over the place. I can get out of here. That's most of. But this one, maybe just because they're trying to make it so grounded. Hey, I'm just gonna play with all this fabric with Zuko, and I can't. I don't know. It just didn't seem like he was as capable.
I looked at him. I guess as you were talking, I was thinking. I guess the reason why I didn't feel the fact that I didn't feel like he couldn't get away in the live action. I don't know if I said that correctly, but I guess what I'm saying is like, I looked at it from the standpoint of like, he wasn't trying to fight a lot. So he was just, because he was, using air for like a defense and evasive or whatever type of thing. Like, it wasn't that he couldn't beat these people. It was just like, I don't want to fight, so I'm going to do what I got to do just to kind of get away for the time being. Like, it wasn't like, oh, like if I wanted to, I could take everybody out, but because I'm trying to be cool, I didn't come for this. I don't want the smoke. I didn't come for the smoke, but y'all bring it to me. I'm going to keep you from not taking me out, but at the same time, I don't want the smoke by any means. That's how I looked at it. Because when he fought Zuko at the Earth, Amashi or whatever, like, he didn't want to fight. He was like, hey, bro, I don't want to do this. But Zuko was like, no, we're finna have it out. Because, Zuko is Zuko. So he was kind of like, I'm just kind of running away because I don't want to fight you, but at the same time, I can throw a gust of wind and get rid of you if I want to, but that's not what I'm trying to do because I don't even know why you're attacking me. You haven't said, all I know is you're chasing me down. I have no idea why.
I'm trying to think, because I'm trying to think of all the fights that he's been in. So the first ship, he barely got off there and he got blasted down with the fire, but he was already off the ship by then. But I'm trying to think, in the cartoon, when, Zuko came to rescue him with the blue mask, I remember them having an issue getting out. Mm-hmm. So, why? So I have to watch that. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I was gonna make a point. Like when you said he got away and he got hit with the fireball. Now I did have an issue with that. Now because like I said, I didn't remember that part until you said it. Now you did all this airbending, you got away, all that, but you're flying away. You mean tell me you can't dodge a guy shooting a fireball straight at you? Like I will give you the grace of like maybe you can't see where it's coming from, but like. The guy shot it straight at you. You just like, I'm just gonna keep going straight.
Or that nobody else thought to do that. Like it had to be just Zuko to come out there. Oh, yeah, that was just a lot. Like, another thing, Aang and his mentor, his friends, I can't think of his name. Yeah, their relationship is just weird. It felt weird and awkward.
Like a. I
don't know. It just felt weird. Like it just, I don't know. It wasn't natural.
I got you.
It wasn't natural.
I didn't read into it. I was thinking more like, them being monks, and he was more like his like you said, mentor. So
that's what I would have imagined, but they didn't cast it like that. He never called him his mentor. They're just friends.
Yeah, that is true. Cause he even had a line. He's like, you will always be my friend. We'll always be friends. I don't think he said. I think Aang does call him his teacher though. Or he says Gyatso taught me, or I don't think it says sensei, but he just said something like he taught me, or he was my teacher, or something like that.
The reason he was trying to preserve his childhood because he didn't want him to do the Avatar duties. He was trying to prolong it as long as possible, And they was like, nope, we need you to, we need him to go learn. And he was like, all right, I guess I gotta go tell him. So that's he was just trying to keep him childlike.
But it was more, that whole relationship was more than that, though, is what I'm saying. Like that.
Also, how did they know he was the Avatar? Did they ever test him? Did they ever figure it?
They act like they didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Because I understand, like, in the show, I can't remember the show if they did something to do, like, a test to figure out if he was Avatar.
I think they did.
But in the first episode, it was just like, yeah, Aang has to go train because he's Avatar. I was like, well, when did we figure that out? Like, I don't...
And how did everybody know except him? Like, if you tested him, he ain't know what y'all was testing him for. Y'all like he was just completely...
I don't think the kids knew, but yeah, the adults, they did know. And
No, I think he's talking about, like, Aang, how can you test me for the Avatar and you don't tell me I'm the Avatar? It's just like, hey...
I'm guessing, I mean, obviously they did it off screen. They did it before, but I mean, he did say that he went to go give him his tattoos or something in front of the Avatar statue. So.
Oh yeah, because he became the youngest master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff that they just they didn't earn. Like Katara becoming a master. Somebody else call you a master, and you like, what, me? But then you just automatically assume now you call yourself a master. Like
that,
it was just
that was like and that was the only time that I ever noticed. But that was the women empowerment thing.
Listen, man, I was like, that dude, he came with, all right, whatever you need, Master Katara. Then he also died, and I didn't care. His body was right next to old buddy's.
And she's like, what? Like, who told him to call you that? Why would they call you that? You haven't demonstrated anything to that level. But then you automatically accept it and start calling yourself that immediately after.
But didn't she just, or was that beforehand? Because didn't she tell Zuko she was a master on that?
No, it was after.
It was after, okay. I was about to say,
that's why I was like, she started calling herself that after.
That was just the MCU thing.
Within a matter of hours, like, or even within the hour. Like, it was the same night.
This is true. I don't know, man.
There wasn't the healing water thing that was supposed to be a big thing. She never learned how to do that.
No, here's my other. I'm gonna say this for. I don't, and this is why I said what I said earlier, because I don't want to seem like I'm just crapping on the show. Because I like the show. I like the live action show. Yeah. But these are things I just noticed. Like when he gave himself over to the ocean spirit and he became the big thing. And here comes Katara. Hey.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So
it was the worst.
I know you can hear me because I don't have to yell. But we're family. And they need you.
Are we
and I need you.
They end up being,
That's what she says. She's like, because we're family.
So
weird.
So I'm gonna get back to that in a second. So she did at some point let the water go through that mannequin or that body. So she's got the basics. She can practice on her own. So she can learn water healing on her own. Since that's how she did all her water bending this season anyway. She was doing it through a scroll on her own. But yeah, so that's one thing that I have with movies and shows in general. Like they to make it more dramatic, they'll end up like whispering or like it just does not seem realistic. And when Agent Smith and Neo, they like flying all the way like buildings and they're talking. So yeah, Aang is sitting here in this big old water monster, all this water around him.
He's no longer Aang. He's not the Avatar.
And everybody just knows this. He's gone forever. Like what?
And she just said, and like she's talking normally, and then like the last thing she said, it gets even quieter. I was like,
also here comes, I forgot the guy's name who was like the last water Avatar. Hey, come over here real quick. I need to tell you something. My knife. It's here. You need to figure it out.
You need to figure it out. Like, how did he even know to give himself? Like, he just got in the water, like, I'm about to do this. And then the girl was like, you can't do this. It's going to be forever. Like, what is he about? How does he know? How do you know what he about to do? How does he know to do it? Because, it was just so much.
So I know I just feel like I have an answer for everything you're saying. But the Avatar, the whole thing about the Avatar is that it is a good spirit. So a good spirit that is, let's say, inhabiting a person. So the spirit should know that they can, I'm going to say, combine with the moon spirit. So it's not something that Aang knew, even though he wasn't in the Avatar state.
Doesn't work.
You have this I forgot what the
like
spirits-
innate knowing or something, but he wasn't like in his avatar state. He just they're sitting there watch the other fish
it
die,
happened real
and
quick.
he just
He died.
I'm just gonna get in this pool and hold the fish. Like it wasn't like something he asked his spirit about. It was just I'm getting in the pool because this is what I got to do to fix it.
You can chalk it up to him.
Nope.
You can like he
Nope.
just have this knowledge, this subconscious knowledge.
But it just appeared then. You had the whole season. None of this other knowledge appeared. That just is in you. You got to go to a temple and commune with these individual avatars at their temples to ask them questions that sometimes they don't even really give you answers for.
All they do is just give them crap. Like, what you
So like,
you gotta do
it doesn't work.
Get
No.
rid of your friends. They gonna be a liability.
I mean, these people got grudges, like serious grudges, things they didn't work out in life, and they putting it on him essentially.
Yeah, basically. I will say this though, like back to the whole point of like the whispering with Katara. The first thing I thought about was the scene from Shazam in the first one when they were in the air fighting. Everybody was trying to talk to him. And Shazam like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, it makes sense because I don't know, man. Maybe she was speaking to his heart. I don't know. But he wasn't the Avatar anymore. He was no longer Aang, so I don't know.
I will say, so let's just say he didn't hear her, because I think it still works, because at no point, I don't want to say did he seem like he was listening, because I mean he was I guess like it's no more Fire Nation. Then he looked back, oh, the moon's back, all right, I'm gonna go away.
No, he still stood there when the moon was back, and she still had to talk to him. And he was looking off. Then he looked at her and smiled, and then it was just weird.
I didn't see a smile.
And even after,
I feel like something registered on his face.
Even after he did all that and he came back, he flew off because he was like, oh, this is all my fault. And she had to go talk him down again. Like, hey, man, it's cool, bro.
All right, big guy, the sun's getting low.
Like, I will say this to your point. I'm not going to talk about it long, but like the whole women empowerment thing, it was like when Katara was like, I'm gonna go, what'd she say? I'm gonna go do something to make sure we win or something like that. She came back, and like, I don't know how she had the time to gather all the women, but they were just standing just all looking up like,
Yep.
can we fight?
Even though all we know how to do is just
Right. That's what I'm like. How y'all gonna be useful? How?
I don't know, man.
And they just did not do the work to develop Katara because there's no way she should have been able to hold her own against Zuko with what we saw.
Yeah. That's why they gave Zuko the line of D, because he like he himself was like, what? What you been doing? you found a master, huh? Yes. Me.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And then, like I was saying about what's her name, Azula with the blue lightning, it just came out of nowhere. Like they just.
And then also bending wise, while I like all the, like is you can stretch how you want to. I liked all the other bending for the other elements. It took her 12 steps to get that lightning going. He was like, you know what? Let's go. What?
I
You challenge me?
I think that also, even though like, I think that I remember them doing that in the cartoon. Like I know at some point, they were able to like kind of channel it and make it a little bit simpler.
But it didn't take that long, though.
Like I'm sure, I think there are times like maybe Iroh or something.
Yeah, because I think he tried to teach Zuko how to redirect it. Because it was like the channel through your body to redirect it somewhere else. Because that's what happens when Zuko and Azula fight at the end of the second season, or whenever they fight. Yeah. She tries to hit him with the lightning because he was ready to redirect it, but then she was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna shoot it at Katara," and it was a whole thing. But
I think in the cartoon, Azula always had the lightning. So
She did.
Yeah. I don't,
She did. Yep.
They're just trying to give her depth. Let them be great.
But it wasn't like a moment where she figured it out. She just all of a sudden has it and does it to impress her dad. Like, it was just weird.
Yeah.
Just showing her that she's. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it.
The one thing I had a small problem with is with Zuko and his crew. Because they gave him the whole thing of like, oh, well, the reason they're alive is because he stood for the 41st or whatever and they told the one guy who had lines in the crew, or whatever, they told him, and he was like, "Hey, we're the 41st or whatever," and it made it seem as like you guys should be grateful because without Zuko, y'all would be dead. Like, I get that, but that don't mean he gotta treat me like the way he treated me.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
And the point in the story where where Iroh chooses to tell him that. Like, y'all been together all these years, and you just all of a sudden, when you think he's dead, you're gonna tell him. But I want to say something about you were talking about the one guy in the crew with the lines the whole time. Yes, I was like, these are so weird. I kept thinking about, have y'all seen the Forbidden Kingdom?
Yep.
The Monkey King. Like I was just like, is that what they're going for? Like what?
They were thick too.
And I'm saying like they call us monkeys.
Oh my god.
I feel like they tried to make him seem black with his name because they was like G. Like, hey, G.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, his name is Commander G. But I know they spelled the JEE, but I think in Chinese it would be XI.
I don't know.
But did they ever say like why the 41st or whatever they were supposed to be killed?
They were the most expendable because they were the newest.
So when Zuko challenged the military plan, because they were going to send them in and just sacrifice them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was, his dad was like, well, since you care about them so much, take them with you.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it made sense. I got it. But at the same time, like, yeah, you saved my life, but you ain't got to treat me like crap. Because like when Zuko was talking to Iroh, and he said something about Commander Zhao. Everybody was like, "Yeah, man, he got this one thing. Did nobody ask you?" I was just trying to. My bad.
All right. So one of the best characters is supposed to come in next season. Toph.
Toph?
Yep.
How you know?
Because she's the reason.
Yeah.
She's the Earthbender, his master.
Yeah, his Earthbender.
But here's the thing, though. How do you know that, though?
They could spread anyway.
They spent a whole season for him.
There's no way they're going to be able to get away with putting off Toph that long, and they got and they have Azula. There's no way you can.
I get what you're saying. I guess my point is.
But I'm also not hopeful about it.
During the first season of the cartoon, he'd already started waterbending with Katara. They went this whole first season of live action, get to the last episode. Hey, I'm gonna teach you waterbending.
Yeah.
You
should have been practicing the whole season.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, in the other show he did.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if they bring in Toph, like, is she gonna teach? Because he hadn't even started waterbending yet.
He's gonna waterbend between the two seasons. So my thing is
he has to because what else would season 2 would be about? Because the second book is about them being in the whole Earth. But that's the whole Earth Kingdom. You can't be in the whole Earth Kingdom and not be doing anything. So, yeah.
So my thing is, Toph is the youngest of all the different people, and we already have a problem with the child acting. How is this going to go?
I guess this is why I give child acting a pass too, because like when I go back and watch the first Harry Potter, their acting was trash too.
Yes.
But then as they got older, it got better. So I'm just kind of like, as long as the story makes sense, as long as I'm invested in the characters, I can look past it. So that's why I say like when I look at Aang, even though his acting isn't the best, he reminds me of the Aang from the cartoon show. So I'm like, all right, I like him. He's cool. Like he sounds childlike. I get what Dexter's saying as far as like he goes from 0 to 100, like, and it'll be very serious. But hey, here comes a joke. Like I get it, but like he still reminds me of that Aang from the cartoon. So I'm kind of like, cool, I'll take it.
Toph has the strongest personality, so that's
she does.
Yeah.
And she's also blind, which now they have to. Well, they don't have to, but there's a push to just kind of empower people who actually, embody that. So I don't know what that'll look like for them if they cast an actual blind person to like it. I don't know.
And then they have to be ethnic. They have to be,
Yeah, like that's gonna be tough for them to not look like they're trying to work around this actual disability. Because for her, even though it's a disability, it wasn't because she actually had powers to work around it. So
because the thing about it is if you didn't know she was blind,
yeah,
you wouldn't. Because I was watching some fights, but it was like Legend of Korra fights, Because there were moments where like she'll make comments about like, "Hey, I can't do this because I'm blind," but it's because like, oh, it's like this big empty space in the earth, like I can't see it. But like if she doesn't mention it, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But also, and maybe because I watch a lot of martial arts stuff, like usually blind characters are the most skilled.
Yeah.
Like they go hard. So if it's based on how they're doing it now, I can see them bringing in a blind character. Is she?
But
blind.
do they actually? Most of those, what you're referencing, they're not actual blind people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think they would.
And they're also usually adults.
Yeah.
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 I would say I can't think of a young blind character that was like.
And I'm interested to see how they visualize metal bending.
They don't.
You think they'll bring in metal bending though?
I mean, Toffee invents
She did.
it.
I was gonna say they didn't do that to Korra.
Would they do it in the second season? She did it in the regular show.
Probably third. Yeah. No, I think they did that in the third season.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Okay.
I don't think they'll do it in the second season. Of this
I mean,
show.
they condense a lot of storylines, so I think it'll be.
Because I can see them bringing in blood bending too.
I was gonna say, so they already did lightning, blood bending, metal bending,
lava bending as well.
yeah, and then I guess if you want to call plant bending, I don't know. We have yet to see that. Maybe next season.
I guess. Well, I'll ask this question and we can end it on this. But like, unless y'all have other like burning comments, like to bring the conversation kind of full circle, like. Would you want them to have like a guarantee, not guarantee, but just like a definitive, this is only 3 seasons and out? Or can you see them stretching this like far past what people are wanting it to be?
This is Netflix. They're gonna have as little bit of seasons as they can. So me personally, I think you can. While you can do like a 16, 24. I know they're not going to. You could make it more and have more even with the 3, but I would like it to stay 3 seasons.
Would you want second season to at least be 10 episodes?
If they can make it more episodes, then yeah, let's do a little bit better and making these it flow better. Even though just looking at it overarching, it did seem like it was okay, but if we start to have issues like we don't know if it's going to be, and I guess I shouldn't just assume that it can get bad, because if they did alright the first season. Anyway, I'm rambling. 3 seasons.
Would y'all like to see Korra follow?
I don't like Korra.
Really?
I don't like Korra at all.
I would like to see it, but my thing with Legend of Korra is like I didn't really like Korra as a character, but I like the world of Korra because it was like the world after the arc, which I heard that. I don't know how true this is. They're making a show. I don't know if it's animated, but it's supposed to be what happens after Aang and all them get old or whatever.
Yep.
So it's like because the city that Korra lived in was Aang and them built that city. So it's supposed to be like them building that city and all that kind of stuff. But like to your point, I would be cool to watch it, but it wouldn't be for Korra. It would be to see the world around her.
That is one character that they can, they'd have to improve. Like all the characters in the Last Airbender, it's kind of hard to live up to that. But Korra is like one that you can improve this. But I want to say this before. So one of the biggest things I had, and you seem like you were about to say something, but I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I'm not saying that nobody should do this. And I chalk it up to him being a monk. But he pronounces every single letter and every single word. And it takes me out of it. What? You don't think that I should be doing that? It just seems so weird.
Yeah. I just didn't like the actor.
I will say this, though, when it came talking about characters, I believe Zuko did those flips. I believe the character who plays him, I believe he was.
I think he did, because I saw like some of their promotion, and they did like, we're the cast of Avatar. Of course we did blah blah blah, and one of them was, of course we did our own stunts. So he probably did.
I was gonna say because I think the character who plays Aang is like a black belt or something like that. No, Zuko. The guy who plays Zuko is a black belt. So
He said he will.
I was gonna say I heard that somewhere.
He said he wants to be Pyro in the MCU.
Okay.
Who?
The Zuko actor. Yep. Yeah, got anything else y'all want to talk about?
I don't think that's pretty much it for me.
All right. Well, thank y'all for listening. Hope y'all like and subscribe. You know, give us thumbs up, whatever it is for the podcast apps. You want to plug yourself?
Do what to myself? I wouldn't do that here.
Oh my goodness. All right, so you can find me on Instagram at HAPPEE __ MILLS. We have a TikTok, the big and short of it all.
My IG handle
go ahead
is
and okay.
at _DexLou _DEXLOU.
You can find me at DA_Bear BEAR29. Yeah, man. I think you talked about all of them.
And we got YouTube as well.
Oh, yeah. I will say, not here.
And the last remarks. All right.
Made the Lord watch.
Well, you said what?
Made the Lord watch.
Okay.
People know what that means.
Queen me and thee.
I was going to say, that's a weird thing to say after talking about...